What's going on, everybody? It is me, Chavez, back with another live stream for you, another player prop talk. I am back. You are back. We are back for another day. Today is Monday, February 26th, 2024. As always, I hope this video, this stream, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Stream, video, one and the same. I hope it finds you doing well and in good spirits. We got a nice show ahead of us today. We got plays of the day to go over, your plays of the day to go over. We got turds of the day, turds of the weekend to go over, injury news, minimal injury news, but we'll cover it. We'll go over some lineup construction, talk about yesterday's wins, this weekend's wins and such, and definitely get into your Q&A. So if it's your first time here, I appreciate you stopping by. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Hit that like button on your way in. If you are a repeat offender, I say welcome back. Let's get cracking. Hope everybody's doing well today. ATM, what is going on? Good morning to you. Big Icy Grand Rising to you. Ruben, what's going on? Kyle, Vu, what is up? Good morning to you all. Let's get this going. Cutting that intro a little short. Dancing Lamb isn't dancing so much today. I'm going to cut it short a little bit. Just getting right into the meat and potatoes of everything. Let's get into some player props. But most importantly, blessed. Hashtag blessed. You woke up this morning. I will continue to illustrate this stat. Over 10% of the U.S. population does not wake up every single day. So the fact that you woke up, you are blessed. What you choose to do with that day is totally up to you, but you're here and I'm here. And I appreciate you being here, spending this day, a portion of your day with me. So let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Turds of the day, turds of the weekend. Any turds for you to speak of, to throw in the bowl? It was kind of a long weekend with sports. Felt long to me. Yesterday we had 11 games on the NBA slate. It was a lot of NBA, and that's probably pretty much what we're going to see moving forward with no NFL. You know, so NFL was the dominant sport on Sundays. It's no longer here, so NBA needs to fill in that gap. So we'll start seeing more primetime type matchups on Sunday. 11 games yesterday from noon to like 10 p.m. Fantastic. 7 games on ESPN and the ABC channel. So a lot of basketball. Buddy Hield, Jaden Ivey got a couple turds already. Jaden Ivey from Saturday, right? Because the Pistons played Saturday. That the early game, right? Or am I making stuff up? Or was that yesterday? It's all blending in. Yeah, it was Saturday. Yeah, Magic and Pistons. Okay. Boncaro was out. He got ruled out later in the morning. I remember that. All right, so Ivy turd from Kyle. Another, damn, Kyle has all the turds. Buddy Hield and Jaden Ivey today. Ruben says Boncaro is his turd of the week. Boy, I tell you what, he has hit that wall. The wheels have come off that assist wagon for him. They got dropped to 5.5, and he has not been producing like we've seen him in the past. So maybe pump the brakes on Boncaro for a couple of games. Let's see if the assists can drop below 5. This guy was knocking down 8 assists every game. Knocking down. Can you knock down an assist? He was dishing out like 8 assists for like 10 days, 10 games straight. So hopefully we can get a nice discount on him. What's going on, Carrie? Good morning to you. JR, good morning. Kyle, boy, did you have some bad lineups, or were these all? Hopefully these were all in the same lineup. Maybe these turds were just in the same lineup and you only had one lineup. It's the worst when you have like multiple lineups and all the turds are spread out and it just like they chalk all your slips. DF the God, good morning to you. Buddy Hield and Miles Bridges, those are your turds. Damn, a lot of Buddy Hield. Yeah, he did not. Boy, yesterday in that telecast, they were talking about how good of a fit he was in that offense. But, you know, throughout his career, what he's been really plagued by is when his shot doesn't fall and what little value he brings to the team. Basically, they were saying he doesn't do much but score. He doesn't hustle. He doesn't, you know, contribute in other departments. And you can kind of see it on his face yesterday. He was just missing all the shots and kind of like mopey. So that's the downside to Buddy Hield. So yeah, definitely did not have his best game. Did not. Okay, just 2 lineups. So I guess it's not too bad. If only 2 of your lineups were not profitable. Jim the Judge, good morning to you. Turd of the day, Asar. And Carrie says, Colin Sexton, you would have hit for 300. Close these doors real quick. Colin Sexton yesterday did you take his 3-pointers? His 3-pointers were like top 5 popular prop on the board. I took it also. It looked good. It graded out really well. It had great odds. Stats were there. Matchup was there. I don't even know if he took a 3 yesterday. I got to double check against the Spurs. Colin Sexton finished with 16 points. He did not attempt 1 3. You should get a reboot on that. If a player plays a whole game and doesn't take 1 shot, you should get a reboot on their points or whatever. Like, that's crazy. He didn't take 1 3 yesterday. John Collins took more 3-point attempts than Colin Sexton, and he made 3 of them. That's crazy. Took the over 1.5 threes, but he did not. Exactly. That's crazy. I didn't realize that until now. I just looked at the box score. He didn't shoot a damn 3. All right. So it seems like Buddy Hield is a unanimous turd of the day, of the weekend, with that awful shooting performance he put on. His finishing stat line: 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 2 turnovers, and he was 3 for 9 from 3. So if maybe his goblin threes hit, maybe. Yeah. Tobias, how about Tobias Harris? How about Tobias Harris as a turd? I don't know if you played him. I don't know if you were considering playing him, but his points were at 16.5. We had a private Discord session yesterday where we just kind of chopped it up before tip off, and Tobias Harris was talked about a little bit in that discussion, and he did not even score 10 points yesterday. He didn't even get the double digits. So if you took Tobias Harris, then you were pretty disappointed in yesterday's matchup. Let's see. Ruben said, I went ahead and put Brooks Lopez on retirement extension. Brooks hit his fantasy points. We took that. We talked about that also in the private Discord session yesterday. Talked about his points, but I really liked his fantasy score at 29.5. I think he finished with 36. He had like 5 blocks. That'll do it. So I like taking his fantasy score. Anytime you get his fantasy score under 30, under 29, the upside for blocks. I mean, when he starts blocking shit, it's like a waterfall. It just keeps on flowing. All right. Enough turds of the day. I think we have a unanimous turd. I think it's Buddy Hield. I think honorable mention turd can go to Colin Sexton as well. And then maybe not Tobias Harris, but definitely Buddy Hield and Colin Sexton. All right, injury news for today as we move into the next portion of the show. If you're just checking this show out, if you're just checking out the channel for your first time here, I appreciate you being here. I would like it if you hit that like button, thumbs up button, participate in the chat, throw a question in there. We'll get to the Q&A here in just a second. Injury news as of now: questionable Tyler Hero, Ben Simmons, Orlando Robinson. He plays the whole Heat lineup is on this injury report. Hero, Rozier, and Robinson. Butler's 4, and Nikola Jovic is 5. That's 5 Miami Heat players. Jimmy's out. He got suspended. He got ejected. I didn't know what happened that game. I didn't see it. All I know is that I was tracking the score and everything came to a pause. And then the next update was Jose Alvarado gets ejected. Jimmy Butler gets ejected. And somebody else I think got ejected. So yeah, I'm not sure what exactly happened, but Jimmy's sitting out this game. So if Hero is in, he should be in a pretty good spot to pick up some of that slack. If Hero is out, then I mean, Bam, Martin, Jaquez, who knows what they do. All right, injury report, super short and sweet. Nothing more than a few Heat players. Marcus Sasser is also ruled out. Don't forget about Marcus Sasser. Plays in Detroit. If he's out, well, he is out. So I don't know if that impacts anybody in the starting five, but you never know. Moving on to our plays of the day, or NBA plays. So I did put out a video early this morning, late last night, and I did cover a few plays that I like. Super early look at the board, and if those plays are still up, if the odds are still good, if nothing has moved, I'll look at them again during the stream and definitely try to work some of those into the slips. But I just want to show you what those plays were in case you missed the video. We won't dig too deeply into them, but I do want to at least review them with you. As always, all of our prop research here on the stream is brought to you by props.cash. There's my promo code on the screen. Thanks 25. Use it and get 25% off your first month. It's that simple. Also, very quickly, if you're looking for an alternate pick'em site to play on, if you are in a state where PrizePicks is being yanked away from you, look no further than JOCKMKT. Super clean site, parlay site. You can do a lot of the things you do on PrizePicks. Also, love the fact they have their daily discounts. Give you 3 daily discounts a day. Take advantage of those. And there's my promo code right there. Sign up using that promo code, get 100% deposit match up to $100. All right, promos over, infomercial over. 4 plays I talked about in yesterday's video. Now I know 2 of them are from the same player. Yes, you cannot play both of his props in the same slip, but pick which one you like best. Aldama over his threes, Aldama over 8.5 rebounds and assists, Cade Cunningham over his threes, and Josh Hart over his rebounds. If you have reservations over Josh Hart rebounds, look to his Goblin rebounds. We'll take a look at his Goblin rebounds when we head over to PrizePicks, because yesterday I had some success with the Goblins, and I wanted to spend a few moments going over that slip, but also wanted to kind of share my thoughts in terms of building a bankroll builder with these Goblins instead of looking at the Demons. Demons are very volatile, very hard to hit. But as we transition over to PrizePicks, I just want to share the screen with you all with this Goblin play that I put in yesterday. And I did share this in the Discord. I did share it in my channel. And so, yeah, these are very very high floor, right? Not a high ceiling on these at all, because you're looking at these discounted props. 1.5 threes made for Russell, 2.5 rebounds for Reeves, James 4.5 rebounds, Durant assist. The only one that got a little sweaty was Anthony Davis, who had probably one of his worst first halves I've seen in a long time, and he did pick it up in the second half. Rui, 11.5 fantasy score was also a little scary. And in hindsight, I would have went with his first half points at 6.5, but he cleared it barely. So the reason I constructed it this way is you cannot create an all Goblin slip and get, a decent payout. So you do have to balance it out with at least one regular line, and that regular line was Rui's first half. Now I played around a lot with the construction here, and the Rui first half prop got me the 5x. I tried a different prop and it was giving me like 4.5 or 4.25. So putting 20 on this one, 5x'd it for 100. Now it's not as good as 5xing, 6x or 25xing, but you want to talk about a bankroll builder and you want to talk about plays that are very safe and have high upside to hit. you do this a few times during the week, you are building bankroll and you aren't sweating it. You do have to put a little bit more in your entry amount. So if you're like a $5, $10 entry amount person, you will have to bump it up a little bit to get back the 100 or more, but it's worth it if it hits. So I think I'm going to try this out a few more times this week. I think I'm going to start to get a little creative with these goblin slips because it was pretty fun to watch it all hit green, and a lot of those hit in the first half. So that was pretty fun to watch. So we'll talk about goblins today. I think they're an awesome way to build bankroll. If you are willing to put in a little bit more per your entry fee, I think you can really come away with some nice profit and kind of lock it in. Nothing's a sure thing, but there are some things that are like more sure than others. I think the goblins are considered that. So enough about that. Enough about me. Let's what's going on, DAOD? What is going on? Gilbert, good morning to you. Fam man, good morning to you. All right. All right. Let's go for president. Appreciate that. All right. Lil Bud, what's going on? Good morning. All right. So we got player props to talk about today. We're going to put together a minimal 5 players on this board, maximum 6. We'll take those 6 plays. We'll head over to props.cash and we'll start breaking everything down. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, hit that like button. But what we're doing here is we are just Q&Aing it up. You got questions, I got answers. You got player props, I got the research tools. We'll break them down. We'll use props.cash to do it. So all right, let's scroll back up. Let me try to find where that first player prop was put into the chat. Scrolling past all the buddy turds. If you're just joining us, we just went over our turds of the day, which is like the player that sold your slip the most, that chalked your slip the most. Buddy Hield was unanimous. Honorable mention goes to Colin Sexton. Wimby, I didn't see this one, ATM. Wimby over his 3s. That's your turd of the day. Okay. Took his 3s last night. All right. Kyle. I think Kyle has the first player prop on the board. He wants to take a look at Asar Thompson at 17, 16. You got it at 16. If you got it at 16, good on you because it got bumped up. This is also one of the more popular plays on the board. Now, this is also one of the first games that got put on the board. So, yeah, that does make sense why these are very popular. You can see in the corner, nearly 15,000 people have put this in a slip. When you don't have very many props on the board and people are like really anxious to get started, they're just going to start like playing the props that PrizePicks puts out there first. So, yeah, piston props are like probably going to be popular for a while until the board starts to fill out. We got Ivy over points or Barrett over RA. So sticking with the Detroit side of things, we got Ivy over his points at 15.5. It's Major Money Monday. Let's go. I like that major in front of it. I love that, Jim. All right, so those are the first 2. Oh, Gafford, big icy. I didn't see this. Gafford is your turd of the day. Really? Would you take for him? Is it PRA? JR, top of the morning. I don't know why I read that as turd of the month. I was like, damn, you got a turd for the month? Top of the morning to you. All right. I'm scrolling. All right. I see Jim wants to take a look at Claxton's rebounds and assists. We'll take a look at I need him to start getting some damn double doubles. Him and John Collins. And in hindsight, I probably should have taken the unders on all their damn props. I took the under. If you watch that stream, I took the under on Jalen Williams in OKC. Jalen with an L, not a Y. Under double doubles for the rest of the year. I also took the under on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's double-doubles for the rest of the year. I took the over on Claxton and John Collins double-doubles for the year. How about Jokic getting his 30 points yesterday? If you had Jokic in some plays that were pending, hopefully the other play hit. I had a couple that hit yesterday, not for a whole lot of money. I just spread it around a little bit, but finally he hit 30 points. So we don't have to sweat that anymore. So if you put that in a slip, hopefully you got some extra cash yesterday from that Jokic play. All right. Yeah, everybody's trashing Tobias Harris, Kyle. Man, during our private Discord session yesterday, we had a guy, Connor Connor, really made a good case for Dame Lillard's threes at 2.5. And he had a lot of good talking points, and yeah, Dame came out and hit three of them. So he was on point with that one, no doubt. So we got Vince Williams also. Vince Williams, 4 games on the schedule today. So I think a lot of these players will be very popular because just limited choices. But that also might result in a few of them getting bumped up, to be honest. Kyle says he hit on the DK promo for Jokic and Curry to make it a total of 12 points in first quarter last night. Nice. Did anybody play the Jokic promo on Underdog 0.5 points? I think it was 0.5 points. Anybody play that promo yesterday on Underdog? That was kind of a nice one there. JR says he's doing a same game parlay with Fox over 9.5 rebounds. Oh, you did that yesterday. Or is that today? Are they playing today? Are the Kings playing today? They're playing the Heat, right? Yeah. So your same game parlay is Fox over 9.5 rebounds and assists, and Sabonis under 14.5 rebounds. I wonder, where you playing that at? It's on same game. Is that DraftKings same game parlay? Got Fox here. Let's take a look at that one. We should be able to look at Sabonis when we're on props.cash. Let me get one more from somebody else though. Jim says Santi is at our 9 RA on Underdog. I tell you what, let's look at Santi Aldama's rebounds and assists, since I did talk about that in my early video. For those of y'all who haven't watched that, or if you're just joining the stream, thank you for being here. But let's talk about Santi Aldama. I'll show you why I liked him at 8.5. All right. Let's take it over to props.cash. Let's start breaking these down. So we got Asar Thompson. We got 2 Pistons here, so we'll knock those out in the same game. We also have 3 players from the same game in Nick Claxton, Vince Williams, and Santi Aldama. And then we'll end it with that De'Aaron Fox RA. We'll go in that order, try to be as efficient as possible. All right. Headed over to props.cash. If this is your first time on the stream, then I don't know if this is going to be your first time checking out props.cash, but it is one of the partners of the channel. I do promote it. I do get money when you sign up, if you sign up using my promo code. Definitely don't sign up for this if you don't know what it is. Wait a minute. Check it out. Listen to me talk about it. See it in action, and then consider signing up using my promo code. All right, let's start in New York, or let's start in Detroit. When we got 2 player props from this game. Let's start off with this, whoever I come across first, Jaden Ivey. We're going to take a look at Jaden Ivey's points, sitting at 15.5, minus 120 to the under, 106 to the over, minus 106 to the over. 0 for 4 his last 4 games, 1 out of his last 5 games, 50% hit rate. These last 5 games have really brought his average down, as you can see. Over his last 10 games, he's averaging 19. Over his last 5, he's averaging 12. So That's a huge drop off from 18, 19 points basically to 12 for Jaden Ivey. What's going on with Jaden Ivey? Do we know why he's taking such a huge hit in his numbers? Matchup today with the Knicks on paper doesn't look good. We talk about this all the time. Matchups on paper don't look good, but matchups are played on the court, not in your journal. So paper matchups, they are what they are. We can't lie about these numbers. However, we need to take a look at his projections and figure out where the numbers have him landing at. 16.37 points today. That's over 15.5. Also factor in competing books. So we got FanDuel giving you some of the worst odds on this player prop. However, when we take a look at DraftKings sitting at 14.5, that's your best line. Caesars also has it at 14.5. Everybody has it at 14.5 except for FanDuel and PrizePicks. So if you have access to any one of these other books, I would honestly play it there because you're going to get the more favorable spot. Even though his projection is for 16, which is over 15.5, why pay more if you don't have to? Matchup against the Knicks. Let's take a look at his games against the Knicks. He does have 4 games to look at. Now, these are all in recent seasons. He's second year in the league. He does have 1 game this year where he played back in November, got you 5 points. Not the best outing. You definitely want to see more from him in these games. 2 out of those 4 games he's gone over. Jaden Ivey also Jaden Ivey can also turn the ball over a lot. So, you know, it's not like the Pistons have a lot to play for right now. So if he's struggling, if he's turning the ball over, if he's missing shots, I mean, sitting him down for an extended period of time isn't the worst thing. They don't have anything to win or lose in Detroit right now. So they're really still trying to find what's working best for them, what players on the court equal wins. As good as he is, if he's struggling, they're not going to keep running his ass out there. So that's probably your only reservation when you're looking at his numbers. But outside of that, projections look good. History's, you know, okay against the Knicks. And then his last 10 games look a lot better than his last 5. So there's Jaden Ivey's points. Play it on another book if you can. FanDuel and PrizePicks have already bumped this up. Let's take a look at Asar Thompson. I think we're looking at his rebounds, his PRA. Were we looking at his PRA? Yeah, PRA was at 16.5. It's been bumped up to 17. You figured it would be with odds like -140 to the over. It's still playable at 17. He needs 17 to get over this anyway. -140 tells me that it's not like he just stops playing basketball. Once he gets to 17, then he's done. -140 is kind of telling me that there's a little bit more upside past 17. So if you want to play it at 17, I think you have that room. 6 out of his last 10, 4 out of his last 5. Matchup on paper, we already talked about this. It is what it is. Projected for 20 PRA. You may feel like that's a little high. It might be a little high, but again, you don't need him to get you 20. You need him to get you 18. 17 will push. 18 will go over. Head-to-head matchup with the Knicks. He just has 1 game. He's a rookie. Just 1 game to look at. Beginning of the year, you know, a lot has changed since then. You would assume players play with more confidence, shoot better. The rhythm is down a little bit more once they're, you know, half a season under their belt. Maybe we see a better showing from him in this game. So PRA for Asar Thompson was looking strong at 16.5. Take a look at it at 17. Now, other books, DraftKings has it at -140, Caesars at -121, and BetMGM has it at -120. So DraftKings was giving you the heaviest juice on this prop. No other book has it at 17 right now. PrizePicks is the only place that has it at 17. So they bumped it up. We'll see if everybody else follows them. All right. What else for Asar Thompson could we look at? What about his points? His points are sitting at 9.5. If you like his PRA, then points are a pretty big part of that. Points have looked good over his last 10. They've looked great over his last 5. He is projected for 12 points, but the odds show differently. So odds are heavily in favor of the under here. Rebounds and assists possibly. Slightly better odds. You're getting more of a coin flip here, so you can go to either side with this one, but the numbers are very consistent with his rebounds and assists, going over in 7 out of last 10, 3 out of his last 5. Projected for roughly 8 rebounds and assists. So yeah, if you don't want to play the bump on his PRA, then I would look to his RA as a secondary play. All right, let's move into this Brooklyn-Memphis game. We got 3 players to look at. We got Nick Claxton. I think we're going to look at Nick Claxton's rebounds and assists. Now, this one is sitting at 13.5. I would love for this dude to get 13 rebounds today and 10 points. Get a double-double, please, against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, over his last 5 games, has not gone over this line. He's 0 for 5 in his last 5. Over his last 10, 1 for 9. Minus 120 to the over, minus 110 to the under. We are past the point of positive negative regression. Typically we see it at the 5 games of red. At some, the next game he's going to hit that mark. Well, that red mark has come and gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's still under. Day'Ron Sharpe being back in the lineup does not help his outlook. When Ben Simmons is also on the court, that does not help Nick Claxton, as those 2 guys will gobble up rebounds. Every rebound they get is when he can't. So that's 1 less board that he can snag. Memphis's defense is a good matchup for him today. They are allowing the 2nd most rebounds per game in the league at 46. Unfortunately, there are no projections to look at for Nick Claxton today, but let's take a look at what competing books have this at, just to give you an idea. So it's pretty unanimous across the board. 13.5 on all 4 of these books. Coin flip odds. PointsBet is giving you more juice to the under. BetMGM has this little bit over, as does Caesars, as does DraftKings. So PointsBet is the only one that doesn't have as much faith in this prop. Since we can't look at projections, let's take a look at what opposing centers have done versus the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll have to take a look at rebounds and assists separately. But just to give you an idea, since we can't look at projections. All right, so Zubac and Brook Lopez go well over the rebound line, as does Andre Drummond. Vucevic got you 10, and there has been no other center to give you. Sengun goes under, Valanciunas goes under, Nick Richards goes under. What about assist? So assist seem to be a little bit more consistent with the big men's. Zubac over, Brook Lopez over, Sengun gets you 6, Jonas gets you 3, 5 for Vooch. So look, if Claxton can get you 10 plus rebounds, if Claxton gets you 9, I mean that means he would have to get you 5 assists. No, 6, 5 assists, 5 assists. Is that something he does? Nah, he's maxing out at 4 over his last 10. So Claxton gets you, let's say upside, he gets you 4 assists and he gets you 10 boards. I can't see him getting the over on this unless he gets you a minimum of 10 rebounds. If Nick Claxton doesn't get you 10 rebounds, he's not going to make up for it with assists. So if you feel, it's all about how confident you feel about his rebounds. You feel like he can get you 10 plus, I say take the over on his RA. If you feel like he's going to struggle and not get it done, I stay away from this line. Or maybe wait and see if it bumps down a little bit. All right, let's take a look at Santi Aldama's rebounds and assists. I talked about this one in my video. This one was standing out to me really late last night. 7 for 10, okay? 7 out of his last 10 going over this line. He's averaging 8.8 over his last 10 and 8.8 over his last 5. Identical averages here, 80% over his last 5. Odds are just whatever. They're meh. They're middle of the road. Now, his numbers against the Knicks, he doesn't have any games this season to look at. So we look at last season, what his role was last season. the state of that team last season. A lot different. He's getting more playing time. He's healthier. They definitely want to work him in the rotation. He is a part of their rebuild. So I like that for him. The matchup against the Nets, pretty good one. Nets are giving up the 23rd most boards per game. Pretty stingy with the assist. But again, breaking it down, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Any of those combinations gets it done. He is projected for 8.83 rebounds and assists today. Other books have this at pretty similar odds. Scratch that. FanDuel is the only one that has this at these minus 113 odds. DraftKings heavily in favor of the over. Caesars, BetMGM, PointsBet, all 4 books have this in favor of the over. There are a lot of things to like about this one. So I did like it at 8.5. Jim said on Underdog it's been bumped up to 9. Now Jim plays on Underdog because unfortunately he lives in New York and PrizePicks got yanked away. So Jim signed up on Underdog using my promo code. Thank you, sir. So yeah, it is important for him to figure out, do I want to play this at 9? Because now it got bumped up. At 9, he's pushed this in 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of his last 10. He's given you a push. He's gone well over in 2 of those games. I think the push is probably more likely to happen at 9. I can definitely see him just getting exactly 9 rebounds and assists this game. So you can still play it at 9 and go for the push with upside of 10. But I think the push is probably like more likely to happen. It just outweighs. The push is very dominant in this graphic compared to the overs versus the 8.5, which is all green. All right, Vince Williams. We're taking a look at Vince Williams, who we are looking at what? Points and rebounds, I think. Points and assists. 18.5. All right. 9 straight of going over this. Hits the bump in the road against the Clips, averaging 20.8 points and assists over his last 10. Identical numbers here. 80 and 90% hit rates. His numbers against the Brooklyn Nets, we have to go back to last season. Different team, different role. Little irrelevant, right? Let's take a look at the Brooklyn defense. We already talked about their numbers versus the boards. A little bit slightly worse than league average in terms of points allowed. Again, no projection for this guy. Sometimes projections pop, sometimes they don't. PointsBet has this at 110 to the under, 120 to the 110 to the over, 120 to the under. DraftKings, Caesars, and have this heavily favored to the over, as you can see here. BetMGM minus 125. So BetMGM is seeing this one hit the under. FanDuel kind of in the middle there, while PointsBet is slightly. These are kind of the same, actually, if you take a look at 110, 120, 111, 115. DraftKings and Caesars have this heavily favored to the over. So, I guess, what do you think happens? Do you think he bounces right back from this nasty game against the Clippers? Do you think he gets right back on track and gives you 19 points and assists? It's a good matchup for him. It's a lot better than the matchup against the Clippers. Great odds, minus 130. I mean, depending on where you're playing this, these are pretty good odds. All right, last player on this board, De'Aaron Fox. We'll take a look at his rebounds and assists. Rebounds and assists at 9.5. This is going to be the second leg of a back-to-back for the Kings. Took care of business last night on the road. It felt like that was a home game. Watching that game, I feel like there are a lot of Sacramento Kings fans that make that drive down, or maybe they're already in LA. the amount of cheering that I heard every time something happened for the Kings, I thought I was watching this like as a home game. So fans travel well for the Kings, but this game is back at home, so 2-hour flight up the coast, maybe a little less than that. 4 straight games of 13 or more rebounds and assists. He's on one right now. 6 out of his last 7, 7 out of his last 10, or excuse me, 6 out of his last 7, 6 out of his last 10. All this looks good. Pace down game. Well, I would say the Clippers and Heat play at a similar style of the pace. I don't think this will be like a super slow game for the Kings. They scored 123 points yesterday, and Clippers don't play super fast. So possible similar game pace. Projected for 12 rebounds and assists is De'Aaron Fox here. A lot of these odds have this in favor of the under. FanDuel gives you the best odds in terms of the over, but DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, PointsBet all have this in favor of the under, big time. Jimmy Butler's out. That Miami defense is battling some injuries and some Q tags and all sorts of things. So I can totally see the Kings coming out taking care of business like they did yesterday against the Clippers. It is these kind of games that kind of let people down because you expect the team to come out and handle business at home. And Miami is that grindy ass team that will come out and like win with unrestricted free agents, basically. But yeah, from what I'm seeing here, I like this. In spite of the odds not being heavily or more in favor of the over, I just still like what I'm seeing with De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, I think this is a strong at 9.5. I feel like that's a pretty good line. All right, boom, 6 up, 6 down. We like the over. Asar Thompson 16.5. We don't mind it at 17. Jaden Ivey's points. A lot of the things say take the over on this one. I will say the only reservation I have is minutes and him kind of playing himself out of rotation if he's turning the ball over or if he's just missing shots. I don't think they hesitate to limit his run a little bit. Claxton, odds like the over on this one. He needs to get 10 rebounds. If he does not get 10 rebounds, he's not getting you 5 assists. Vince Williams, fantastic game logs here. We like what we see. Bounce back spot against the Nets after that bad game against the Clips. De'Aaron Fox, we like this. Santi Aldama, we like this. So let's go ahead and screenshot these. I'll throw these over in the free player prop Discord so you can reference these whenever you want. I love, I've used these myself. Like you get so caught up in your day and then you sit down to like make slips and it's like, why am I trying to reinvent the wheel? I got player props sitting in my Discord that I already talked about that I forgot about. I'm going to go over there and like just see if there's anything still up. These have kind of saved me a few days from doing a bunch of research. So use them to your advantage. All right, we left off on this JR same game parlay. So let's keep cruising. Round number 2. Here we go. One goblin a day makes the money stay. That is the quote. That is the quote of the day. One goblin a day makes the money stay. Man, I might have to put that on a shirt. If they sell well, I'll cut you in on the profit. All right, let's go. ATM, I see Vu. Ivy over 17.5 PA. We should have took a look at that when we're looking at his points. We can still do that. Vince Williams over points. Yeah, if you like his points and assists, he definitely can't get over that without scoring. Got our first under on the board. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this Domantas Sabonis under 29 points and assists. Took the under on his points yesterday at 20. And he finished with 17. I was sweating that a little bit, but I mean, there's a great example of taking the under. It got bumped down, Carrie. Everybody's playing the under on this one already. Let's take a look at it anyway. That's a great example of taking the under on a player, but them still having a great game. We talk about if you take an under on a player, it doesn't mean they're going to come out there and have a bad game. It just means you don't like that stat. Take the under on his points. He goes for a triple-double. It gets you like 70 fantasy points. He did it with 17 points, 15 rebounds, 13 assists. You don't always have to score a lot of points to score a lot of fantasy points. So taking the under on him, you know, if you have the right matchup, isn't the worst thing to do. But taking the under on his PRA sometimes is like, there are better battles. Kyle says, I like the over on Santi Aldama's 10.5 points and assist. Nick Claxton rebounds under 13.5. You like the under on that one. Ruben likes the under on Nick Claxton's rebounds and assists. 13.5. Okay. Carrie likes the under on Claxton's PRA. Man, we're getting some Claxton. We're getting some Claxton clacks up in here. 25 PRA. Did this get bumped down or bumped up? It got bumped down. Interesting. His points literally was off by 0.5. Missed a whole dunk last minute and got taken out. Who's that, Big Icy? Who you talking about? Dub Nation, what's going on? Good morning to you. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome to the stream. Hit that like button. Means a ton. Let's take a look at Benedict Mathurin over his turnovers. Oh, I love a good turnover prop. 60 says no complaints this week. Did okay. I would love to do a stream where nobody has a turd. Everyone's like, hell no. Everything was green yesterday. That'd be nice. RJ over on points at 19. Where are you seeing that 60? I'm seeing it at 20.5 over on PrizePicks. Where are you seeing 19? Is that a book? Is that Hard Rock? Let's look at his points at 20.5, and that way, like if we semi like it at 20.5 and all the points are there, then you probably got to like it at 19. Yeah, Ruben says Asar scares me on his playing time. Yeah, I don't know how many guys they have in that rotation. They're just kind of like throwing guys out there. Monty Williams is kind of just putting guys out there right now. They don't really have a lot going on, so it's possible like he's just trying to figure out what group of guys works best. What's going on, Jesus? Buenos dias to you, sir. Ramo, what's going on? Good morning. Kyle says took the over on Vince Williams PA. Nice. All right. Jim got the Jokic promo. Yep, over on Underdog. Carrie over here with the NHL. Carrie, you're our NHL. You're one of our NHL ambassadors. Oh shit! I wanted to. I thought about you yesterday because I was looking at some just props all around, and I saw this one, and he's off the board. I don't even know if he was on PrizePicks, but I saw a line for him at 3 shots on goal, and it had a nice line for the over. And I was like, damn! As soon as that hits the board, I want to take a look at it, but it's not on PrizePicks right now. But Jason Robertson over 3 shots on goal was one that I was looking at. So shit. Kyle says Dorian Finney-Smith under 1.5 3-pointers made. I'm seeing Dorian pop up in a lot of places for the over on his points, and I can't figure out why, unless somebody's sitting in Brooklyn. Kerry Young, yeah. Santi Aldama over 8.5 rebounds and assists. I like it. We just talked about that one, and I talked about him in my earlier video. So that one looks good to me. Sometimes a player prop looks so good, and you're like, "What's the catch? Like, what's going to happen if I take the over? Like $1 on a string? Like, what's the catch? This money just laying on the ground. What's going to happen?" Let's see. Appreciate you, Dwayne. Thank you so much. Cutler. Bam. Yeah, we haven't talked about Bam. No Jimmy. Let's talk about some Bam. Does anybody know his first name? I don't think his first name is Bam. Doing the promo for me. Appreciate that, Dwayne. Like that. Paris Black, what's going on? Good morning to you. Got a lot of comments in here. Sir Drips a lot from the Netherlands. Nice. Is this stream global now? Are you from the Netherlands, living in the States? Are you currently in the Netherlands right now watching this stream? That's dope. Mel, what's going on? Good morning to you. What's going on, Michael? Are you you're a Niners fan, obviously. Are you a Sacramento Kings fan or a Warriors fan? All right. We've got a lot of player props today. We might have to go an extra round to get some of these in. All right. I see that Simone points, Jim. I'm gonna see if I can get a player prop from somebody that I haven't seen yet. Paris Black likes Claxton's rebounds and assists under. We just talked about Claxton's rebounds and assists. We were kind of making a case for the over, but the only reservation was his lack of consistency over his last 10 games. And if he does not get you double-digit boards, he's definitely not going to give you 5+ assists. At least I don't think he will. So he definitely needs to get you 10+ boards to get the over on that one. All right, Cutler. I see that Duran, Nimhard, Maximo says, what's going on, Maximo? Says Cunningham is balling right now. His threes are falling. I tell you that shit right now. 8 threes in 2 games. Dub Nation got that Benedict Mathurin in there. We're gonna have to take a look at this Vince Williams again because a lot of people are asking about Vince Williams' points now. 60 says MLB in effect. MLB's MLB in effect. Let's add it. Yeah, y'all got some MLB plays, spring training plays. Throw them in there. Let's diversify our slips. All right. Got that Bam. And I tell you what, we got a couple of first quarter points in here. Cutler is asking about Scotty Barnes, 4.5 points first quarter. He had 8 points first quarter last game against the Pacers. And we got another Scotty Barnes sighting right here, over 6.5 rebounds. I tell you what, let's throw Scotty Barnes on the board. And again, NHL, MLB, if we can look at it on props.cash, which we can look at MLB, NFL, NBA, WNBA, CSGO, all those we can look at on props.cash. So if you have any plays outside of the NBA, throw them in the chat. One time, our plays of the day, we had like hockey, MMA. I think we had a CSGO or a Valorant play in there. We had a bunch of shit in there. So yeah, it doesn't always have to be NBA. I wish we were getting Scotty Barnes rebounds at 6.5. That must be on a book. PrizePicks won't throw that up there as at 6.5. Let's throw Scotty Barnes. I already got 6 on the board. That's fine. Let's throw Scotty Barnes up there because I'm going to take a look at those first quarter points and see if they're worth looking at in a slip. All right, round number 2. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining the stream, thank you for being here. Hit that like button as you walk in. Think of it as like wiping your shoes on the doormat as you walk in. Just hit that like button as you walk in. You don't even realize you're doing it. Bang. It's done. Minimal effort, big impact. All right, Scotty Barnes, Toronto versus Indiana. We're gonna take a look at Scotty Barnes' rebounds. We'll take a look at his rebounds first, because if you're getting this at 6.5, if we like what we see at 7.5 rebounds, 6.5 feels like a goblin. Is that a goblin? Is that what you're asking about? I didn't even check to see if that was a goblin for him. No, that's just an actual line somewhere. All right, so if you're playing Scotty Barnes rebounds at 6.5, I mean, at 140, 7.5, and you're gonna get it at 6.5, you don't even need to hear me break this down. I would just take the over on that one. But at 7.5, he has 5 games where he got you 9 or more. 5 out of his last 10. They all came in this little stretch here. Now, this game against Atlanta, he was too busy dropping like 10 assists to do any rebounding or scoring. I don't believe his points unless he got it going in the fourth. Oh, he's got 20. Well, shit. I didn't know that. I thought he was in the teens. So, yeah, aside of that game, I mean, he's showing you this is kind of what he can do. Head-to-head games with the Pacers, last 4 games with the Pacers. This is a very strong game log versus a team. 2 of these games are this season. Last 2 games last season. Plays them really well. With Siakam, without Siakam. So it doesn't really matter, right? He's playing well against this team no matter who's in the front court. Projected for 8 rebounds against this team. At 6.5, that's a very good line. I take the over on that one. I like the rebound at 7.5. This one's going to get bumped up to 8. Let's look at his first quarter points. 8 first quarter points against the Pacers last game. Over his last 5 games, he's gone over in 4 out of 5 games. That one game against San Antonio, he didn't score a point. I wonder if he took a shot. His minutes are good in the first quarter. He's playing 9 minutes or more in the first quarter. In that game against San Antonio, he took 2 shots. That's not enough volume for him. Needs to be in the 5 or higher. So that's a reason. That's a reason why. 5.5 first quarter points for Scotty Barnes. If that one's available on PrizePicks, if that's going to match what we're already looking at here on props.cash. 4.5. It's 4.5 on PrizePicks right now. So look, 50% hit rate, that changes to 70%. Just like that. 70% hit rate. That's a good one. Yeah. There's always a chance that players get phased out in the first quarter. There's always a chance that somebody heats up and he's not like quickly can't miss, or Barrett can't miss, and Scotty Barnes is just dishing out, assists. That's possible, but like the more common scenario is that he's a part of the scoring in the first quarter and he's going to get you 5 points. I think that's more likely to happen than him taking a back seat to 2 other players. So I think that one's good. You can get that one on PrizePicks. Back to his rebounds very quickly, just to show you if you had any interest in his rebounds at 7.5. Competing books have this minus 140, minus 125, minus 117 to both sides on Caesars, minus 135 on BetMGM, minus 120 on PointsBet. So All but Caesars has this really in favor of the over. Slight juice over here on PointsBet, but this should make you feel very good along with the projections, along with the game logs. The over on his rebounds, 6.5, 7.5. I think those are strong plays. All right, that was a lot of talking about Scotty Barnes, but let's move on. Let's oh, in the same game, let's talk Benedict Mathurin and RJ Barrett. They're in the same game. Okay, cool. We're gonna zoom through these. Benedict Mathurin, we're not gonna spend a ton of time on this one because it is a turnover prop. So really, we're just looking at turnovers, game logs, and odds. Turnovers are a hustle stat. So, or excuse me. Yeah, turnovers are a hustle stat like by the opposition. So they're not always like predictable as a 3-pointer made, but we can take a look at the odds and we can take a look at the game log. So minus 133 to the over, 103 to the under. He's gone over this, giving you 2 or more turnovers in 60% of his last 10, 60% of his last 5. He's averaging 2 turnovers exactly in these games. He is projected today for 1.65, so you can round that up to 2, closer to 2 than it is to 1. And then when you look at competing books, you have Caesars at minus 133, BetMGM at minus 125, and PointsBet at minus 120. So all 3 of those books do have this in favor of the over. Neesmith remains out. Yeah. Throw it in the flex for sure. RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett was the question was over 19 points. So I'm assuming the 19 points is on a book and not a pick'em site. But let's look at it at 20.5 where it is on PrizePicks. If we like it, or if we're like on the edge at 20.5, then maybe at 19 that pushes you over that edge. So 2 out of his last 5, and he's gone over in 6 out of his last 10. Cleveland, San Antonio, Brooklyn gave him problems, handled business in the other games. Knicks also gave him a little problem there. Head-to-head matchup with the Pacers. So these 2 teams just played a week ago, week and a half, put up 23 points. So that's what you need from him today. You need 21. So 23 gets it done. Projections are slightly under. So projections are at 18.5. You can round it up to 19. Now, competing books all have this in favor. There's a lot of under going on here. Minus 125, minus 125, minus 121, minus 125, minus 120. Now there is a little juice coming in on the over. So this is feeling like a coin flip, to be honest, at 20.5. At 19, I would feel more comfortable because at 19, these odds will change for sure. But at 20.5, you have a decision to make. You want to go on recent game log here, or you want to pay more attention to the odds and the projections. All right, let's talk about Sabonis and Bam in the same game, and then we'll go into our NHL. Oh shoot, we have Dorian Finney-Smith also. So let's talk about Sabonis, Bam, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then we'll go with NHL. So Sabonis over 29.5 points and assists. Now this one got bumped down to 29. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Hold on now. Wait a minute. 28.5 is what it is on other sports books. So PrizePicks already bumped this up. Damn, BetMGM has this at 30.5. Yeah, I take the under on that shit. If you're playing on BetMGM, I take the under at 30.5 right now. Especially if you're looking at the under at 29.5. DraftKings has this minus 1 140 to the under. Minus 119 to the under, minus 115 on Caesars. At 28, pretty much like a coin flip. Minus 115, minus 111. Odds are just kind of right there in the middle. Played on DraftKings, played on at BetMGM first, then played on DraftKings, and then consider playing it on PrizePicks, where it has been bumped down to 29. So at 29, gives you a push yesterday. Outside of that, he's gone for 3 out of his last 5. He's gone for 5 out of his last 9. Versus Miami, plays him pretty well. One game this year, 32 PA. Now his projection is for 31. However, these odds speak volumes to me over projections. Odds are industry wide. Projections can vary. So if you like the under at 29.5, you gotta love the under at 30.5 on BetMGM. But at 29, you have a decision to make here, because now it's a flat number and pushes in the future on this one. Or you could just leave it alone. You could just leave it alone. Possibly look to the under on his fantasy score against the Miami Heat, or again, maybe just leave it alone. PRA, okay, so against the Heat, man, his PRA is fucking great. Against the Heat, last game he put up 49 PRA. He just the triple double out of nowhere. Like, his first quarter against the Clippers yesterday was so bad, and then like at the end of the second quarter he had like 12, 10 and 7 or something like that. I'm like, when did that shit happen? That's why I hate taking the unders on this guy. But if the odds are in our favor and we got like multiple data points, I feel more confident about it. When lines start bumping down, then it makes it a little bit more difficult to pull the trigger on it. But BetMGM, yes. DraftKings, yes, for the under on this cat. All right, let's take a look at Bam Adebayo's 14.5 rebounds and assists. Then we got Dorian Finney-Smith, and then we got Palmieri. So 14.5 rebounds and assists. This one looks super strong. 7 out of his last 10 games. He's gone over in 3 out of his last 5. He's averaging 15 rebounds and assists over those time frames. Identical averages here. His projection is a little low, 13.81. Alternate books do have this at FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM are all seeing it similarly, where there's a little juice to the under, but there's more juice to the over. Caesars is like deadlock right in the middle. They don't know what to do with this shit. What we can do, however, is, well, let's look at his numbers versus the Kings. Against the Kings back in January 15. So that's exactly what you need. Let's take a look at this without Jimmy Butler in the lineup. So let's go ahead and take him out. And that one game came back in 2022 against the Kings. Let's look at his last 10 games without Jimmy Butler. So maybe if you're on the fence about this one, you're not really seeing a whole lot you like until we take this Jimmy Butler dude out of the lineup. And now it's a 70% hit rate, but there is way more consistency and way more games strung together with Jimmy Butler out. And these are all this season. Like, literally every single one of these games is this season, which is what you want. So 17 in his last 10, 19 in his last 5. That's pretty strong. That's a pretty strong case for an over for Bam without Jimmy in the lineup. All right, Dorian Finney-Smith. We're looking at the under on his threes. I do want to take a look at his points, though, because for some reason his points were really popping and I couldn't figure out why. Popping in some optimizers, I don't understand why. He's projected for 7.7 points, so he's projected for 8 points. I guess the matchup against Memphis is considered a good one, although they've been very stingy. They're top 10 in points allowed. He only has one game in his last 5 that he's gone over. I'm not touching his points anyway. I was just curious why those were. I was just curious as to why I was seeing just so much juice to the over on that one. All right, 3-pointers made. We're looking at the under on this one. So you got to go back to January 27th for a game where he's gone over this line. Did it on back-to-back games here. Outside of that, he's giving you 1 or none. He's averaging 1 against this team, and that's a game way back in the day. So let's just look at his last 10 games where he's giving you 1 over his last 5 games. He's giving you 0.6. We can round that up to 1. He's projected for 1.27. That's closer to 1 than it is to 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 books have this favored more towards the under. A little bit more juice coming into the under. FanDuel's the only one with those coin flip odds right in the middle. They don't know what to do with that one. I want to see how many threes he's taken. Damn, his minutes have been pretty bad too. It's hard to shoot from the bench. I want to see how many threes he's taken per game, because that's just if you get a player who's getting you 8, 9 3-point attempts and his numbers are down, it's just a matter of time before they start going in. That's a scary prop to take an under on. But if you're getting a guy who's giving you no more than 4 per game, you're saying that he has to be a 50% 3-point shooter. He has to be a 50% 3-point shooter in order for that to happen. On the year, he's a 34% 3-point shooter. 34. So you're asking him to go well above his season average today. I mean, I think the under in that one does make sense. Unless he just starts bombing away from 3 all of a sudden. You got a lot of shooters in Brooklyn. Cam, Mikal, Schroeder can shoot from 3. I mean, you got rid of Dinwiddie, but there are a lot of players there. That one does make sense to me. All right. Let's take a look. NHL, last player prop on this list. Kyle Palmieri. Curry, you like the over on his shots on goal? This one's getting heavy juice to the under. Over his last 10. Or maybe you said under. Maybe I saw that incorrectly. But we're going to look at this no matter what. So minus 130 to the under. You're getting 108 to the over his last 10 games. He's giving you 4 games where he's gone over that line. Head-to-head matchup with the Stars. Just kind of teetering out right at 2 over those games. This one is this season. His projection today is 2. 1.9 is his projection today. DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, BetMGM all have this in favor of the under for him. Jason Robertson over 3 goal. So his shots on goal I saw it at 3. I thought it was at 3 at least. Minus 166 to the over at 2.5. Of course, that gets bumped up. Now it's sitting at 3. No other book has it at 3. At least I don't see it. But that one was standing out to me despite his projection not being good. The odds are a stronger indicator for an over. Games against New York, this is what he's done. Last game, 7 shots on goal. And then over his last 10 games, 3 out of his last 10. So the odds are really in favor of the over despite his game logs not being that strong. I guess this is like a matchup type of play for him where the odds are just really thinking this is going to be an over for Jason Robertson. All right. Round 2 is done. It's a bonus. All right. So bonus under at BetMGM and DraftKings. They have it at the highest line. PrizePicks has it at the next highest line at 29. Benedict Mathurin over turnovers. Barrett over 19 points. If you're finding this at 19 or 19.5 points, it's an over. At 20.5, it gets a little sketch. His last game against the Pacers, he got it done. However, we like the lines on alternate sites if you can get it there. We looked up Scotty Barnes. He's not on this list, but we looked at him first. Over first quarter points and over rebounds. The odds are pointing in favor of the under on Kyle over here, though. Dorian under his threes and Bam over his rebounds and assists. Carrie, maybe you did say under. I just read it wrong. Let's screenshot these and throw them in the Discord. And boom. Good. Woo. 3 down or 2 rounds down. All right. I'm going to take a look at the board. Let's take a look at the board. So yesterday I talked about building out a goblin slip. And it hit. I want to just throw some goblins on the screen and just show really quickly like a really light construction in terms of what combinations can yield you like the best profit. You do have to play around. You can't just choose all goblins because the payouts will be very low. So you do have to mix in a couple of plays that aren't goblins that you feel pretty confident about. Even better if you see a demon prop that is like too good to be true, like that's gonna hit because that'll really increase your payout. But let's take a look at Josh Hart Goblin rebounds at 6.5. Number 2. Any other rebound props we like that I can throw in here just for this build? There's Barnes 5.5. So that's 3 goblins right there. Let's see if there's an assist goblin. Brunson 5.5 assist, maybe. Quickly 4.5 assist. That looks like his normal line, and that doesn't. I would not pick that goblin. I would stay away from this one. Halliburton 9.5 assist. So what if we threw Halliburton in there? Again, this is just for the sake of building something out. Let's look at a actual like full game prop. No goblin, no nerf. Look at all this shit. All these lines have been nerfed up. Oh, I tell you what. Okay, so we got 4 goblins and 1 true line in here. So with this construction, this is now a 3x payout. Doesn't seem like a lot. I understand that. So we need to throw 1 more in there that's not a goblin to see if we can maximize our 5x here. Let's go points. And it's only 4 games on the schedule today. Oh, how about again, just for the sake of building this out so I can see what this payout is like. All right, so this particular construction is not as high of a ceiling because it's giving you a 4x. So you do have to play around with this, but basically the logic behind is to lock in as many plays as you can that are in your mind going to hit. You do not sweat this, or this. We already researched Santi Aldama. We feel really good about that one. We already researched De'Aaron Fox. We feel good about that one. If we did a first half player prop, any one of them, that's still a 4x. So we do need to play around with this a little bit more. But basically, again, all you're trying to do is lock in as much as you can. And that way you do have 2 plays that you still feel pretty confident about. They're not goblins. And we're looking for anywhere between a 5 to 6x payout. If you're a $5 entry person, yes, that does not look great. It's $20 profit. And maybe that's cool. Like that's enough bankroll for you to build. Obviously, the more you put on this, the higher upside is. You know, if you have a higher bankroll than some people, you're putting $50 on this. You know, there are worse ways to make $200. So I encourage you to try to put a goblin slip out there. I'm going to be working on one later today. I'll throw it in the Discord, but you know, just throwing some plays up there to show you that I think this is a pretty safe way to build bankroll, and playing the demons might yield us more profit if they hit, but I have yet to hit an all demon slip. So just looking at different ways to build bankroll and to make more money. Just to make more money. Like if we threw this Jaden Ivey points in there, just saying. So now this becomes an 8x. So putting 20 on that gets you 160. So you can see like that's a pretty decent payout. And these are all pretty like strong plays to go over. All right. Niner, you're a Warriors fan. All right. I just had to ask. It's like being from Texas and people are like, oh, do you like the Cowboys? Like, I'll root for the Cowboys. But I'm a Houston Texans fan. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to say that because they've sucked for a long time up until this season where CJ Stroud, the truth. Hopefully we don't fuck it up again like we do every other first round draft pick we have in the past. Hopefully he stays healthy. Doesn't get into any prostitution rings like our boy Deshaun Watson over there. All right. Tell you what, let's throw a few more on the board. Maybe not do a full round, but let's throw a few more on the board and let's see if I can get a few more questions in here for you. And if you haven't done so while we're doing these last few plays, throw your plays of the day in here. You got a play of the day that you like, that you're going to be playing in your slips. Throw them in there. Throw them in the chat. Let's start adding them up. Daniel Rivera, yes. Scotty Barnes over 4.5 first quarter points. Yes, we talked about that one along with his rebounds. Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. I haven't been doing live shows for a while. I haven't been doing live shows that long. I've only been doing live shows for a few months, since October. Consistently doing live shows like this for about a month and a half, where I'm doing them 5 days a week now. Idris. That's what it is. Hell yeah. Nice find, Mel. Jason is on underdog for 3 shots on goal and 0.5 goals for 1.5 payout. Shots on goal. I thought his shots on goal looked good at 3. You're seeing him at 2.5 on other books. So if you're seeing it at 3, I think that's the next best line. What else? Okay, so you're talking about Bam. Yeah, we like Bam's rebounds and assists for sure. We like that one. Especially, yeah, without Jimmy Butler in the lineup. Without that ball hog in the lineup. Nah, Jimmy seems like a cool dude. Like, if there was one NBA player that I can sit down and just like talk and just, I think he wouldn't like, try to haze me or something. I think it'd be Jimmy Butler. He seems like a decent enough dude. I like how he talks shit about people too. It's so matter of fact. So I think, yeah, Jimmy Butler seems like a decent guy. All right. Play of the day for Jim, the judge. He likes the over Vince Williams assist. So, and welcome in everybody. If you are just joining the stream, I say what took you so long, because we are about ready to wrap this up. We have been on live for about an hour and a half. We've covered quite a few player props. We covered turds of the day. We just went through a goblin construction to try to maximize profit, and I'll be sharing my goblin slip later today. We start at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. So if you have that time available, consider spending a few of those minutes with us here. What's going on, Steven? Good morning to you. Any nerds in the chat? Any nerds in the chat that have interest outside of sports? Check out my friend Steven Archer's channel, Nerd Affiliated, Nerdy Coffee Monday mornings, Hey Archer Live Thursday nights. Trying to get in touch with my inner nerd here. Not a better way to educate myself and all of the nerdom out there than to watch his live streams and shows. So just throwing it out there. Movies, music, everything, like you name it. Things we don't talk about here on the stream, find it over there. All right. Oh, Jaren Jackson Jr. over 3.5 rebound goblin. That might be. I'm gonna put that one down here as a note. That might be one to add to the goblin slip, no doubt. Let's see. Kevin Park, what's up? Good morning. Simone Fontecchio over 12.5 points. So funny. I threw him in that goblin slip. Jim, another one. Got Dorian Finney-Smith under his 1.5 3-pointers made. Kerry Young, play of the day. Ours Dose. Is that corn or rose? Oh no, that's not how you spell corn in Spanish. These names, these CS2 names are crazy. Over first 2 map headshots. What's the number on that, Kerry? What's his headshot prop? Headshot. I'll put that there for now. All right. My play of the day, I'm gonna roll with Santi Aldama over his 8.5 RA. And then I really do like that Josh Hart rebound prop as well at 8.5. But if you don't like that at 8.5, or if it gets bumped up to 9, I would encourage you to lock in his Goblin at 6.5, because I think that one is his Goblin at 6.5 and Scotty Barnes at 5.5. And this Jaren Jackson, if it's at 3.5, those are 3 really strong Goblin rebounds. You can throw in a slip, mix and match with 3 other plays, and try to go for a 5 or 6x. Put $20 on it, profit 100. Well, profit 80, but win 100. 15.5. All right. What else we got for plays of the day? I'm gonna take a look at this Simone Fontecchio points. That who asked about that? $12.5. So -120 to the under, -106 to the over. 3 straight games, completely different game logs here when you compare these to what he was doing in Utah. This is a good spot for him. I don't think you want to. Obviously, the Pistons are not in contention for anything but another lottery pick. But in terms of just your playing time and development, I would say this is a really good spot for him just to get some time on the floor. 3 straight games of 14 or more against the New York Knicks. 2 games this season. And I believe both of these games, at least one of those games was in Utah. 15 and 14. Projected for 14.5 points. That's 2 points over his line of 12.5. Coin flip. FanDuel, BetMGM see it the same way, -120 to the under, while PointsBet, Caesars, and DraftKings all have this kind of in the middle. Kind of don't know what to do with that line. I'm sure if this game was against Charlotte or Memphis, he'd have better odds, because this matchup against New York on paper looks like it's the worst thing since molded bread. But I think 12.5, if he's going to be getting, what is he getting, mid 20 minutes now? Over his last 5? 30? Come on, man. If this kid is getting you 30 minutes and he's a shooter, he's not out there to rally the troops and to pat you on the back. He's out there to shoot. He's taken 13 to 19 shots in his last 5 games. This is an outlier game. 13, 12, 15, and 19. The guy's out there to shoot. He's going to give you 14 shots a game. He's trying to score. That's what they got him there for. So 12.5, 13 points in 30 minutes. I think that one looks good. All right, let's see. What's good, Damien? What's going on, man? When do PrizePicks drop the props? Carrie, it honestly, whatever the schedule is the night before. So really, 4th quarter, 3rd quarter of the previous night's final game, you'll start to see the player props for the first game the next day start to drop. And then by the time that game is over, you'll have both of the teams on there from that first game. And then usually after midnight, closer to midnight, you'll start to see them populate. And then the first categories are your basic ones: points, rebounds, assists, PRA. You're not going to see fantasy up there. You're not going to see first quarter points and all that stuff. And then by the time you wake up in the morning, it's all it's already done. All right. So Fontecchio, I don't mind that one. I really don't. It does feel weird in favor of it, but I don't mind that one at all. All right. I saw, in baseball when MLB is back full go, the first few props they have on the board are like those combo props. A lot of them are really bad. A lot of them are really bad, and it's just like maybe a lot of new players, a lot of newbies who don't have a lot of player prop background. They'll just play whatever, and so those player props are on the board. I think those are like sucker props. If you wait a little longer, then like the real value starts to hit the board. And I feel like there's a little bit of that in the NBA. And I think some of those first props they put on the board, people are just like so anxious to play. If you just give it a few hours, most of the time people aren't up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So they're trying to lock something in before they go to bed. But there's no benefit of locking in bad plays. It's not even valuable at that point. So like it does suck because you're asleep when all that shit happens. So you just gotta like wake up in the morning and just like the board is what it is, and then start doing your research. I do think there's value in waiting a little longer, like doing it in multiple times of the day, like early in the morning when you get up, sure, and then giving it till 10 a.m., 11 a.m., looking at the board again, because the board changes and more value gets dropped. So I think just being consistent with it. I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do research. I was like, why am I doing this shit? Like half the plays suck at that time. So whatever works best for you, your schedule, everybody's schedule is different. All right. Looked up Fontecchio. Any other last minute plays or plays of the day that you have? We'll have too many right now. We got Dorian Finney-Smith under his 3-pointers made. We got the CS2 first 2 map headshots over 15.5. We have Aldama over 8.5 rebounds and assists. We have Josh Hart over his 8.5 rebounds. What else? Keegan Murray's assist is at his Goblin assist is at 0.5. Man, I'm definitely gonna make a Goblin play today. Encore, Ruben, I didn't see your Halliburton PRA under. Let's look up Halliburton real quick. I did take the under on his PRA yesterday at 38.5. So glad to see them kind of put that game away in the fourth quarter, because I think he sat with like 4 minutes left, 5 minutes left. All right, let's take a look at that real quick, and then we might just call it a stream. I have not looked at any Halliburton props yet. So we're looking at his PRA, 37.5. I bet you it's at 38 on books. No, 37.5. All right, so he's gone over this once in his last 5 games. That wasn't yet. Was it? No, it was Saturday. What yesterday? Yesterday was the 21st. 24th was Saturday. Oh, it was yesterday. Yeah, the Mavs played the Pacers. Okay. Wow, that game got blurred out. So 1 out of his last 5 games against the Raptors, he is averaging 37, but in those 2 games this season, these 3 are this, nope, these 2. 52 and 37. That's 89. 89. He's averaging 44.5 PRA, largely thanks to this massive game here. He hooked it last game against Toronto. His projection is for 35 today. Odds for this one, FanDuel has it favored for the over. DraftKings heavy juice to the over to the under. Caesars coin flip. BetMGM heavier to the under. PointsBet is the only one that has positive odds or more positive odds here. I like the under on this one. I really do. This is not a fast-paced game. Minus 135 to the under. That's just one of the books. That's DraftKings, I think. So, yeah, I don't mind this one at all. Cutler says play of the day is Cam Thomas. Good old Cam Thomas. Over 4.5 first quarter points. And Jalen Duren over 2.5 first quarter points. Hell yeah. All right. Got some first quarter points in here. All right. So filling out these plays of the day. I like them. I'll throw them in the Discord. Carrie, how does everyone track their earnings? Do you withdraw 80% of your winnings? A great way to track your earnings, honestly, is through the Pickit app. Pikkit. Download that to your phone. I have a promo code to that too. I don't have it on me. I'll throw it in the Discord if you want to like use it. But basically what it does is you just connect all your pick'em sites to the Pickit app under the email that you have, and it'll just track all of your winnings and your losses, and it'll grade it out over a calendar, and you can see your profit, your losses. You'll be very surprised at how much you lose and how much profit you make. It blew me away. It really changed the way I built slips and helped me take it way more seriously than I used to. And then yeah, it'll just track everything for you, show you what your daily, monthly, weekly ROI is. It's a nice app. It'll hurt your feelings a little bit. It's like a good friend that tells you the truth. You hate him in that moment, but you're grateful for him in the long run. It's like that app is a kind of a bitch, but you need that. You need that accountability sometimes. So pick it. It's spelled like that. And yeah, if anybody's interested in using it, that's a great question, Carrie, because that's like the other side to this whole player prop thing. Is we always talk about making money and we always talk about building profit and bankroll, but like it's hard to do that if you're like always depositing or if you don't know where your money's going. So yeah, up until that app, I was just kind of like guessing at how much I was making. That's the dumbass promo code they gave me. I didn't choose the name, but that's the promo code. So if you just sign up and you use that code, it goes towards like my referrals. But yeah, it's an eye opener for sure. Definitely. That's a great question though. Carrie says, I've been taking my sports betting seriously since I've been hitting for 100 back to back, but trading stock, yeah, it is very similar to the market. It's a market. It's a player prop market. It's kind of no different than the stock market. The stock market's a little bit more giving with information. You don't have to go digging for as much. Like if you only play on PrizePicks, then you are only like in tune with what they say. So like you have no idea that there are better lines out there. But like the stock market, you can kind of all see it at the same time. But it's similar to like the stock market too. So like if you have a line on Halliburton at 9.5 assists, but then on another site it's at 8.5 assists. Like, why would you buy that stock at a higher price? Why would you buy shares of Meta at 300 when you can get it for 280 somewhere else. If you start taking your player prop building seriously, it changes like your whole outlook on your lineup constructions too. You start looking at it like, I can make some decent money doing this shit, you know, some passive income, almost like making money while you sleep. You wake up in the morning and you have money in your account. That's kind of fun too. All right, I think we're done, ladies and gentlemen. If you just joined the stream, we were just talking about player props and comparing it to the stock market and how important it is to take it seriously so you make money and don't have to deposit as much. So that's an entirely different subject. We can talk about that on another stream. But we went through over 25 player props or so, closer to 30. We covered our plays of the day. We went over turds of the day. We covered plays from this morning's video, 4 plays that we like, well, that I liked early on. Yeah, we just covered our plays of the day. So I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this slide just because I really like it. And moving forward, we'll be putting our plays of the day on this slide. I just like that dunk. And yeah, we'll just list all of our plays of the day here moving forward. But we're done, ladies and gentlemen. We wrapped up nearly a 2-hour live stream here on the channel. We covered a lot. Hopefully this information helps you build better slips, whether you're on board with the plays or you just say, I'm gonna do the exact opposite of everything that guy says. As long as it helps you out, I'm good with that. So appreciate y'all being here. Consider subbing up to the channel, hitting that like button. It means a lot. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss tomorrow's live stream at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. here on the channel. We do live streams. I'm getting back in the flow of doing recorded videos the night before, outlining some early plays that I like. But the live stream is where it all happens. So if you got time in your day, check it out, chat with us, throw a question in the chat, engage, make it very interactive. As I always say, I hope all your player props respect the damn coin. Check out the free player prop Discord where I'll be sharing my slips a little later on today. Until tomorrow's live stream, I will see everybody later, and Chavez is out.